Praise be to Allah. All right. Okay, perfect. I'm waiting on the notification. Okay, we're going live now. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We have an incredible guest with us today, none other than the powerful Sister Zatima of Richmond, Virginia, who's going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Wa alaikum salam.
Excellent. Well, I want to make sure that we thank you on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on with us. I want to get straight into this. You at work at a grocery store. How did you get into owning a grocery store? How did that come about?
Well, we first started at farmers markets. Well, first of all, I have a degree or two in agriculture. Well, we can go back a little bit more, and that would be growing up as a child in the nation during the time of the messenger. We were taught to have land that we can call our own. And so I've always thought about having land. So I went to school to become an agriculturalist. And so then I started doing things with food and interacting with people from farmers markets and such. And life led me Allah led me to a sister that had her own piece of property that was just sitting. And so praise be to Allah, she made me a deal I could not refuse. And our family said, yes, let's go for it. And here we have River City Market. A lot of people wanted to be able to come and get some of the products that we sold at the farmers markets without it being farmer market season, wanted to be able to come at all times of the year. And so, yes, sir, that's why we did the grocery store, as well as the fact that we're in a food desert. And this also happens to be the area in which I raised our 6 children. So, yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. 6 children. Okay, we're going to get to all of that. Brother Kevin Muhammad says 24 is in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Brother Daniel E says, Assalamu alaikum, family. Walaikum salam, sir. And thank you, everyone who's continued to tune into the People's Podcast. Okay. You said you grew up in the time of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Okay.
Yes,
what was
sir.
that? What was it like growing up prior to 75?
Love it. Phenomenal. Just as a child, everywhere you looked, there were Black entrepreneurs. There, I didn't know any other grocery store or restaurant or cleaners or any place else to go but to go to self. And so I grew up with the mentality of shopping with self always. And when my mother or father had to go outside of self, we didn't know about it. So it was well practiced and something we always did. And just a pure blessing. I can remember way back before I was like 4 years old, I barely seen my parents. I remember not seeing them. And it was through the guidance of the minister of taking Dianetics and being able to actually see them, see the love they had for me. That was awesome. Praise be to Allah. That'll lighten you up, brother. That'll make you float. So that being the case, it allowed me to see that do for self was a automatic thing. It's always been a part of me. I did daycare in this area for 20 years with our children, helped raise them in a home, was able to nurse and take care of them in the house right there. That was a blessing. So yes, sir.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And what city were you in prior to 75? Richmond as well?
No, sir. Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, number 7C. Yes, sir.
Okay, yes, ma'am. And did you ever get to go to Savior's Day, like prior to 75?
Not as a child, no, sir. No, sir. Definitely
Yes,
did not. As a matter of fact, my mother, she had us, it was 8 of us, or it is 8 of us. And she had us kind of, if not 2, a little bit under 2 years apart. So therefore, I don't recall my mother going. It was always my father I recall going to Savior's Day. Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. And what are your parents' names, ma'am?
Sister Juma. Prior was Sister Joyce 13X. And Brother Malik, and prior was Brother Charles, I believe 32X. My mind, that hasn't come back to me yet what his X was. I actually was Sister Siobhan 2X. And then my uncle blessed me with the name Zatima.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. A lot of people showing you love in the comments. Brother Abdul Akram sends the greetings. My sister Miriam sends the greetings. Thank you all for continuing to watch, like, share, subscribe to the People's Podcast. Okay, yes, ma'am. So the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad departs in 1975. How does that impact you and your family since you were from back then?
I still have some sessions I need to attend to deal with that, beloved. Okay, and I must say to any believers out there or family out there, even if we're not in the ranks, even though we need to be in the ranks, I'm just talking about myself, but we need to definitely deal with that, because that's still something that kind of is with me. You'll notice my demeanor kind of change with that situation. It was horrific for me. Just coming out of my half moon, a whole bunch of things that happened it was not good. So eventually we ended up in Richmond, Virginia, praise be to Allah, under protection of some other believers here in the city of Richmond were here to protect us once we got here. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. And we say protect is like from the streets, or like when we say protection, what does that mean? I don't know.
I felt protected. I didn't feel secure in my life anymore once everything kind of went crazy. I'm just telling you how I felt as I think about 13-year-old at the time. So that's how I felt. I felt protected once we got here, more settled in mind and spirit and everything. Yes, sir.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. Then what made you rejoin the ranks like after 75?
Well, to be honest, it was my brother Nasir. My brother Nasir came to see me. So soldiers, once you're raised to be a Muhammad soldier, you're a Muhammad soldier. You're a soldier.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And for all intents and purposes, we were told at that time, during the time of the fall, that there was no more Nation of Islam. And so I desired to continue to be a soldier. So I joined the military. I did other things and was well received in those areas. However, it just wasn't me. I was always missing something. And my brother Nasir reached out to me. He was still in the city of Richmond, and he reached out to me, and I was actually in South Carolina at the time, and he let me know he found the Nation of Islam again. And when he told me he found the Nation of Islam again, I dropped everything and grabbed my husband and my family and said, let's go. And we came here to Richmond and embraced the Nation of Islam. However, it was the Temple of Islam. And I thank Allah for that avenue that ultimately led me to where I am today.
Beautiful. Yes, ma'am. And how did you get from the temple to the mosque? How did that?
Well, then we have another sibling, my sister Aisha. She said to me, well, beloved, have you seen this speech from the Honorable Minister, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad concerning the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and where we should be at? And she showed it to me, and I started to study, and then I started to come, and the rest is history. It's been going on, I believe it was October of 11, during the week of the celebration of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's birth anniversary, that I received my ex, and through the Nation of Islam. So I've got it like 3 times now. And then came on in and never looked back. Never looked back. Praise be to Allah. And I will, to be honest, there was levels of not feeling complete even in the Temple of Islam. It was like you just kept hitting that ceiling. There was now I thank Allah, because I have received it in a way now that makes me feel as though sky's the limit. The sky isn't the limit, that it's all there for us. So that's the difference. Yes, sir.
Alhamdulillah. Yes, ma'am. Praise be to Allah. My sister Naeem says praise be to Allah. Brother Daniel says good teachings. Brother Kevin said your sister was an angel. Allahu Akbar. Beautiful. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Next, let's talk about your education. Well, I like how you just did a little humble flex. Like, I had 2 degrees in agriculture. I like that. But then how did directress of MUI. How'd that come about?
I was a student in MUI, first of all, as a child. We had to, you didn't have a choice. As a matter of fact, speaking of doing for self, you were not going inside of anybody else's grocery store. You were not shopping with anybody else, but how Muslim first. That's the mentality that we were raised under. I didn't, I hear stories now about those who might have found a level of fear in it or what have you. I don't remember that. I just remember being totally overjoyed by every time my mother went to shop, we went with self. Why everywhere I went, I felt comfortable and secure and safe. And, it's a feeling like, let's say we as a people don't really get to feel, and so yeah, praise be to Allah. So anyway, I've always been studious, always wanted to learn, always raising that hand and asking the questions. And so I was like that in their school systems as well as in ours. And that was one of my dreams when I was a child. I wanted to teach at MUI. Wife, mother, teacher at MUI, and a farmer. Those were the things that I wanted to be. So, yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. And so people who grew up in the nation, we are known as many affectionately call us the nation babies, people who grew up in the Nation of Islam, like myself and my siblings, you and yours. What advice would you give to people who grew up in the nation who get to a point where they have to decide whether or not they want to take their shahada or accept the teachings on their own? What advice would you give to them, seeing as how you had to make that decision?
I'm so glad you asked that question, because I'm blessed to report that my 41-year-old son is actually just got his ex. And on the same day that he got his ex, my 27-year-old daughter got her ex. Praise be to Allah. So I've been partying for a little while.
Yes.
But the point is, beloved, that just look at our examples. I mean, if we were to take and look at, and I could humbly say they might watch me a little bit. However, we got Sister A, we got powerhouses, we got people that not only exude the teachings, they also have that love. And that's one thing. That's one thing I must say to you. So Master Muhammad loved me enough to come here, right? The most honorable Elijah Muhammad, he was the first man I fell in love with. However, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he taught me how to love. So I learned all over again. Sir, how to love my family, my siblings, my mother. Our relationship since I've joined the Nation of Islam has just flourished. And my mom transitioned this year. May Allah be pleased with her. And that beloved lady, her and I got thick. We got so close together because of the heart that I am trying to take on by looking at my example in the minister. People understand the value of this man. They have no, we have to value who we have, and be appreciative and grateful for those that we have amongst us, and give them their flowers while they're here. Don't wait till they go away and say, oh, that was a nice brother, that was a nice sister. No, do it now. And so then that way you can gain the benefit of that relationship. So beloved, that man taught me how to love, and I'm continuously learning, closing the gap. Everybody's getting one for Savior's Day. Savior's Day, that's my Savior's Day gift to every person in my family. They can accept it or reject it. That's where it's going. Because that book opened my eyes to so much.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and I want for them what I want for myself, and that's to be not necessarily happy. That's like the minister say, not happy New Year, a peaceful New Year. I want them to be at peace, and that's what I'm finding within myself, more and more peace as time goes on. Yes, sir. And I'm gonna get off my soapbox now.
Oh, no, ma'am, take your time. Praise be to Allah. I'm just very shocked that you said you had a 41-year-old son. I wasn't expecting that. Don't
do the math.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yes,
My next question for you is, in your life, has there ever been a time when you were faced with fear? And if so, how have you overcome that fear?
oh yeah, most definitely. Well, not besides the time I told you about as a child with uh, the transition of the nation. Besides that time, there's been plenty of times as an adult. Um, First of all, as a parent, you're fearful consistently. Hey, Assalamu alaikum. Husband just came in to escort me home.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Um, you're faced with the fact that you're a parent and you're responsible. You're responsible for others. You're responsible for um, their life. Making sure they're secure, that they grow up a certain way. That kind of sticks with you until you understand who really has the control. That type of fear is with you for a while, where you feel like as if, I have to be this all in all, I have to be, if you make a mistake on, that the world has ended, and it hasn't, it really hasn't. So, yes, sir. Yep,
Beautiful.
that's what
Praise.
I would say about a time in which I felt fearful of being
Yes,
intimate.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And people in the comments are showing love, and then Brother Kevin said, "Y'all see her humble flex, my husband." LOL. And Sister Coolsum says, "Praise be to Allah, the foundation, how she relates. May Allah bless the nation, recognize each and every one of his believers." People just showing you love consistently, and thank everybody who continues to watch the People's Podcast. Sister Zatima, we have a quick 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast for this month. I want to thank everyone who continues to like, share, and subscribe to the People's Podcast. Thank you all. And we're coming right back to our sister who is out of Mosh number 24. Here we go. Here we go. I don't know what she said. It gives me anxiety. All right, here we go. Boom. If you all like to be a sponsor or donor, please cash out the People's Podcast. My brother Rashad, Street Premier Media Production. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Please reach out to him if you need any of those services. Also, my sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, both of which are available on Amazon. My sister Naima, Stay On Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all around the country and right here in the studio in Atlanta, Georgia. We love our tiny dancers. Raw Communications. If you're working on a book and you need copy editing, project management, content development, media relations, or consulting, please reach out to Raw Communications. Also, Student Minister Robert L. Muhammad, Conflict Mediation, Squashing the Beef out of the Southwest region, out of Austin, Texas. His wife, Sister Fudia Muhammad, Children of the Most High, Giving Birth to a God in the Science of Child Rearing. Please get that book. Fashion Guys, Urban Streetwear, Clothing for Men and Boys, 314-329-6009. We're coming right back to our sister. Power Campus Online Learning. Do you want to improve your homeschooling experience? We're here to help. 770-847-0786. Thank you very much. Dr. Henry M. Carter, King Henry's Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad of Chicago, COVID-19 Disinfecting Cleaning Services. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, AbdulSharif.com. And last but not least, my two books, Cleopatra, which is a children's book, and No Father, No Excuse, both of which are available on Amazon. Thank you all very much for every sponsor, donation, like, share, and subscription. Boom. All right, right back to our sister, Sister Zatima. Now, Sister Zatima, you said your husband walked in. What advice would you give to future wives?
Yes, sir. Become an MGT. The reason why I say that, the minister gave us how to take care of your husband's class to do. And the first thing, myself, not only myself, a couple of sisters as well, we believe that this was going to be all about, when the iron is shirt, different things about taking care of the husband. However, the text was about how to take care of ourselves so that we in turn would be the best sister that we could be for that brother to support him. So I would say become an MGT in the Nation of Islam, because this is the life to live. Not only is it a peaceful environment up here, but it's peaceful as in your relationships. I mean, okay, yeah, we get into a little, some like where I might do the shoulder, he do the shoulder, and before we know it, it's time for prayer. What happens then? You don't have no choice but to come back together again, and then you become humble and you understand what you're grateful for. And yes, sir, I would say become an MGT in the Nation of Islam. Is that so simple? Yes. Return to your own, accept your own, and be yourself. Yes, it is. That is the best thing we can do. Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And for people who want to get into the entrepreneurial spirit and perhaps get have their own grocery store and things of that nature, what advice would you give to them?
Well, as far as the grocery store business is concerned, it's quite in depth. Start off small, start off with something where actually we even did Sundays at the mosque where we would set up a table. So start with that and have customer service must be something. Well, we as the Nation of Islam are well known for how we treat each other, how we treat everyone that walks through the door, regardless of creed, class, or color. We're letting them know that in here you can be treated respectfully, and this is exactly what we expect from you as well. Just a matter of good customer service, doing your very best. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us to learn, to watch from them and learn. You'll see he makes no excuses.
That's
and
right.
I'm paraphrasing, I don't know the exact.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
He makes no excuses in that. It doesn't mean that you don't apologize when you don't do something correctly. That's him. For us, we apologize, of course, if we do something incorrectly. However, as far as no excuses is make your word bond. It takes quite a bit for me to be blessed to have those different tasks that I'm assigned to. And I'm assigned to those tasks because of the fact that I strive to make my word bond. And when I'm unable, like arts and culture, we had a meeting last night and I got in kind of late from the store and it was dinner time. That 4 to 6 window kind of is like,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't want to play with that.
Yes, ma'am.
So I just text the sisters and let them know if they could please just send me an update and I'll follow up after that. And they said, thank you so much. And that's how you do it. You just be respectful of people's time and their energy, and people will treat you the same way. So that's what I would say.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And what type of music do you listen to?
Oh, I love your God brother. Sister 19. I love rap music. I was born and raised during that time. It hasn't left me yet. It hasn't left me yet. I don't listen to quote unquote today's rap. I love jazz.
Okay.
I love
Okay.
classic R&B. I
Okay.
love music that has some type of message to it. Definitely. Because I'm constantly thinking. So at least if I'm thinking, I'd like to take in something that's going to resonate in a positive way as opposed to a negative way. So
beautiful. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And Sis Zatima, what do you want your legacy to be?
well, we're blessed. We have 14 grandchildren right now. And yes, sir, praise be to Allah. And that's just from the brothers. None of the sisters are married.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's from the brothers. They all have 14 so far. But legacy. I'd like, inshallah, for people to remember me through my parents, remember me through the pioneers and through the Nation of Islam, remember me through the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Remember that I was striving to be someone that they would be proud of. And so therefore, always strive to connect me. I would like to be connected to them at all times.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And you spoke earlier, you said you had 7 siblings or 8 siblings?
It's 8 of us.
Okay, yes, ma'am. So it's 8 of you.
I'm the oldest. I'm the eldest, and there's 4 girls, 4 boys. Yes, sir.
Wonderful. And then how many children did you have?
6.
6 children. Okay,
3
great.
girls, 3 boys.
Yes, ma'am. Well, one more question for you. How was being a grandmother? How did that impact you?
You just look mushy faced all the time. You're just constantly staring at the baby. You're constantly, saying to yourself, I can't believe. Well, just like it was when I first had my first child, I was blown away. I was like, this responsibility in my hands, it was phenomenal. It was the best feeling that you could ever have, really, to see yourself reproduced. So, it's a blessing. Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. Well, I want to thank you for your sacrifice and the sacrifice of your family on behalf of myself and my family and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast for the foundation that you helped lay and the foundation that you are continue to help lay all the way in Mosque number 24. Thank you for coming on the People's Podcast. Do you have a website or a way that people can reach
Yes,
you?
sir. Yes, sir.
You?
It is RVA rivercitymarket.com. RVA rivercitymarket.com. And I will get those pictures over to you. I don't know how I forgot that, sir. But yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will get that over to you.
Praise be to Allah. I can't wait to put this on YouTube. Thank everyone for watching. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off of the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, man.
Walaikum salam, sir.